afternoon, guys, and happy Friday to all of your sunshiny faces. I'm gonna go to the grocery stores, guys, tomorrow. It's the first time I've been out of the house in 3 months? I don't know. Probably almost going on 3 months. I think the last time I left the house was like the 15th of March, maybe? And today is currently the 5th of June, so almost 3 months, right? It'd be April, May, and then almost June that I've not left the house. So other than just to be outside, which kind of feels like you're leaving the house, you know, even though you're still in your own yard, it feels different because you actually kind of get to be out in the backyard with people. Like I really don't know, like I sort of went for a walk, but it was kind of just like not even really that far, so it didn't even feel like to me even leaving the house either. I'm actually having my smoothie right now, guys, that I just made for myself because I have not had a smoothie in a long time, and I love them in the summer because they're literally 2 ingredients and there's not that much too, because like I cannot finish some of those people that have like those smoothies that are like this ginormous. I'm like, how do you guys finish those? It's not that much. It's only a cup of berries and 1 cup of what's it called, coconut water, which I like it because it's sweet and it's not super dairy filled either, because my stomach cannot do that much dairy, like, you know, using like yogurt or milk or something like that. Even if it's like coconut milk or rice milk or something like that, like I don't know that I'm really like a fan of the way, like I've never really had a smoothie, like made a smoothie that way before, so I don't know. I just really like this because it tastes really sweet and it brings out like the flavor of like the sweet like fruit. I don't really like the wholesomeness of like whole milk kind of taste, if that makes sense, because like milk isn't sweet, you know, but like coconut water tastes a little bit sweeter. So for me, I really love this, and so it is definitely my go-to in the summer too, because I'm not a huge fan of ice cream, just because again, too much dairy. So like for me, like this, like I want to get some, we have little like Mickey Mouse like freezer pop molds kind of thing, but I want to get some of those other ones and actually use this as the base to make freezer like freezy pop sort of things, like popsicles, I guess, sort of ice pops, whatever the heck you call them. They have a million different names. I was thinking about that. I was looking on Amazon, like I know they think they have some silicone mold ones and some other ones, but the ones we have are like super, like they're like literally like that big and like that like not even really that deep, like they're really small, and I feel like even just 1 cup like this much probably would be too much and overfill them. But like I said, I love them. They're so good, and like they're super cheapy too. Like I don't know, they just don't feel really like durable either. But I would totally make some, like I said, like, you know, popsicle sort of things using that, just because it tastes very sweet and there's no like added sugar to it or anything like that. Although you probably could, if you wanted to make some like real sweet ones, either use real sugar or like stevia or something like that too. Anyways, guys, that was not what I was going to talk to you guys about. I have my camera set up today because I was like, I don't feel like holding it. And I told you guys too, my neck has been hurting me a lot. Like this last week has just been really bothering me. And it felt okay, like sort of, I mean, it was bothering me a little bit yesterday and even the day before that. Nothing like, I think it was 3 days ago or something like that. I couldn't fall asleep because of how bad it was bothering me. Today, it kind of was acting up a little bit. And sometimes I get like pain in my hands because of, I think it's from my neck. It's either that or else it's carpal tunnel or a mixture of the both of them. But it's actually weird though, because it felt like it was more actually on the other side of my neck though that was bothering me. So I don't know. It's currently actually not that late. But I wanted to let you guys know I am going to the grocery stores tomorrow, and I'm going to go hopefully early in the morning because, again, I have not been out of the house in 3 months, so I don't even really know what it's like being out at the grocery stores. And like my dad reassured me though, he was like, believe me, like, you know, compared to how it was the last time we went to the grocery stores, he's like, things are definitely way safer, and obviously too, we're starting to ease restrictions and stuff like that and everything. But just because of that, my dad was like, it was probably more dangerous being out at the grocery store that week before everything kind of started going down. Like just because of the amount of people. Like, nobody was wearing masks, nobody was sanitizing anything, you know, like all that kind of stuff. And just because of that, like, he's like, it's probably actually safer like now going out to the grocery store than it was that first week when we went. And again, he's been doing most of the shopping, so to try and ease a little bit of that. Plus, Jewel had some really good sales this week, so I'm gonna let my dad though add my number at Jewel, because every single time that he's gone to Jewel, it's worked for him. Never seems to work for me. I don't know. I get a 50% chance of it actually working now, and my dad so far has had absolutely no problems using my number when he goes to the grocery store. Like, you guys know, like that, I think it's Just For You now. It's not My Mix anymore, but the Just For You coupons at Jewel. He is, like, I think at least maybe 5+ weeks now that he's gone and used the number. He has had no problem, and it has worked every single time. Although they didn't send me a digital receipt this last time that he went, and half of the receipt got cut off, but what I did see was that it went through and the coupons went through and everything like that, and he said he only spent 25 bucks, and I was like, that's probably around the price that it was supposed to be anyway, so I'm assuming it worked. I will show you guys though what we did get done today in the living room, but I thought I'd start today's vlog. I'm probably gonna finish my smoothie, then I'm gonna go and show you guys what we got done. I sort of was able to help somewhat with my dad and actually getting everything out and taken down in the kitchen. Showing you guys that we're getting our new stove coming. It is coming on Tuesday, so we have to get all the stuff out. We're gonna replace the tile, paint behind it, and all that stuff. It was a nasty mess, actually. My dad was like, I'm surprised. I actually thought it was gonna be worse, but it was still pretty bad. And it clearly needs some paint because there's like stains on the wall and stuff like that from, like, I'm pretty sure probably a tomato soup debacle or something like that. They're like stained on the wall, you know, or some type of spaghetti sauce or something. So there's some of that, and then just from being dusty and everything. I will show you guys what that looks like. All right, guys, finished with my smoothie now. So here, guys, there's no stove here anymore. Which makes this counter, this one little piece of counter between here and like the sink, it makes it seem so incredibly small. I was like, wow, that's like no counter space at all. And obviously, like, we have almost no counter space at all in here, as I've told you guys probably several times. So yeah, guys, this is it. We also got the hood taken out, although my dad did not wipe up here. You guys can see he like wiped down like the walls and stuff like that so that we can prime and paint, and it still looks kind of nasty and dirty and stuff like that down there. And this is a subfloor. My dad was able to take out these tiles. He said they all came out super easy. They were, most of them were actually coming up when he took the stove out. But like the ones in high traffic areas like here, where we obviously walk a lot, are very not easy to get out, but not as easy as the ones that were under here that were just coming up and popping up and stuff like that. So we're going to paint right here. That's the goal, I think, before the end of this weekend. We want to get whatever needs to be painted up here done, whatever painted here done. This needs to be painted because we don't want to put the new stove in and then have that not be painted, or paint it later once the new stove's in. We want to get all the painting in this area done, and we also want to get the new hood put in as well, which is right here, guys. A little sneak peek. We got it out already because we wanted to find out. Guys, this is really annoying. We have an exhaust. So the kind that we got was convertible because we didn't know if our current hood actually was actually like an exhaust that like blew out of the house, or if it was a recirculating. Because my dad's like, well, there's one outside, but I don't know that it's actually hooked up. So again, we're kind of trying to figure this out and stuff like that. And I was like, well, the one kind that we were looking at, which is an Air King, I believe it's called, is supposed to be really silent run because the dogs are scared of the fan when we turn it on. So we're hoping that that's better. And it was 30 inches, which is what we're going to do for the stove. Is also going to be 30 inches. This one is convertible, meaning that it can either the exhaust will go out of the house, or else it will recirculate, but you do have to get a charcoal filter for it. It doesn't come with it. We think that the charcoal filter that ours was supposed to have, because we figured out that it didn't exhaust out of the house, it was recirculating. We don't even know that the other one ever had it at all. So we're pretty sure that it like never worked, which is why our ceiling always looked all like nasty and black, and it was always super greasy and like all kinds of stuff. So again, we ended up figuring out that the other one, we don't know if it was the owners before us and stuff like that, when they put it in, just didn't bother to like, you know, actually add the filter, or didn't know, or something like that. But we've been living this whole time thinking for the most part that it was exhaust that went out of the house. We never knew that it wasn't, and that the other one wasn't even like a convertible. You couldn't do it either way. So we're thinking that it was even possibly the people that lived there before us cut the hole that you guys see here, and there is an exhaust. The problem is we cannot use the exhaust that goes out of the house, because there's a stud that is there. If you guys, I don't know if you guys can see this real well or not. This little piece right there is cut into, like they were going to just cut through the stud and decide, hey, who cares? We're gonna just do the exhaust there, and there's a stud there, nobody cares. And they were just gonna cut the stud off, which is not always a good thing, because it's probably the stud that is holding this cabinet up, is what we figured. So they cut halfway through the stud, so the stud is actually only have half of the support it's supposed to. And then didn't even end up using the exhaust to go out of the house. So like I said, we were trying to piece this together, like what came first? Did they try and put the exhaust in and then realize there was a stud there, or did they wind up actually adding a stud later? Like, that doesn't really make sense. So we're thinking that whoever, probably when the house was actually, maybe even, like, that's the weird thing too, is that when the house was first built, then like there wasn't an exhaust, or maybe it was somewhere else, but I don't know. It's just really weird. Maybe it was smaller or something like that, and then they were like, oh, we're gonna do this, and realized it didn't fit and started cutting into the stud, and then, you know, like I said, we're like, oh wait, that's actually probably not a good idea. So it's a good thing that we bought the convertible, because we can't do the exhaust out, because that thing that you guys saw, you know, there's the hole and there's the ductwork that actually does blow out of the house. And my dad was able to actually stick his hand through and it goes out of the house, you know, everything like that. There was more, my dad just pushed the, what's it called, the insulation down. But, like, you know, we're like, okay, this is super weird. Like, you know, we're lucky that we bought that, because my dad's like, well, you can see it on the outside of the house, obviously. We knew it was there, but we didn't know, again, if ours was recirculating or if it was an actual, like, out of the house exhaust. So we were lucky that we bought this one that could be used either way, because we didn't know until we took it down what we were going to get. Luckily, like I said, we're not going to do that. We're just going to do the recirculating with the carbon filter, and the microwave that we're getting also has recirculating with the carbon filter as well. Actually, I think it's convertible too, but we're not putting it here, we're putting it over there, just because we want to be able to mount it under the cabinet, and it was gonna cost, I think, only like $30 more than getting one that was just like a counter one, and we were gonna put on a like on a shelf, and we were like, you know what, it's gonna save more space, it'll, you know, we'll also have that feature as well. So if something is burning or something like that and it's really starting to stink up the house, you know, we burnt something in the stove, or on the stove or in the oven or something like that, we will have two things that actually can work, kind of a dual purpose in that. Although the one that we got will be probably more than fine to be able to, again, use for the house when we are cooking. But the other one, I think, like using the microwave would just be more for kind of the smell and stuff like that. So like I said, bizarre. We find out new and very interesting things all the time as we've been doing these projects. And like I said too, I think I was telling you guys, like, weird electrical stuff too. My dad's like, I don't know that, like, some of this stuff, like, they run electric really weird. And then too, like my dad was saying too, like the ground, like, that they're using, or I think the neutral is like a different color than what it's supposed to be, like, and so yeah, we've been finding out very, very interesting things about this house as we've been doing more and more. So yeah guys, this is currently no stove, no paint, no nothing. We just moved it out, and like I said, my dad washed down all the stuff and we just took the tile out. But yeah, I'll probably show you guys in tomorrow's vlog, maybe if it gets painted, if we pull out more tile, if we put tile in, but we have to wait till everything gets painted and primed before we can actually put the new tile in. So Yeah, like I said too, it makes this feel so weird. Like I'm like, whoa, this is such a small little countertop. And honestly, in the long grand scheme of things, we could have just replaced the countertop and added like maybe another smaller, like, you know, little cabinet thing or something like that. But I told you guys kind of what our plan is, that we're gonna build sort of like one of those rolling cart sort of like sliding pantries. I'm sure, I think if you look up like sliding pantry on Pinterest, you'll probably find a lot of results for that. A lot of times, sometimes people do them like in between like the gaps in their refrigerator as well. But we're gonna make one here because we will have a gap, because our old stove was 36 inches. The new one that we're getting is 30 inches. And the same thing too with the hood. We could have gotten a 36-inch hood, but I was like, it's kind of look dumb if it's like bigger than the stove. So, and we don't need that. Like, and if we do this, then we're gonna build that thing, like I said, and it's actually gonna go up to the top part as well, so we'll have more storage. So that's what we ended up going with. Anyways, guys, I'll update you as everything keeps going on, but I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love it if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye, guys.